Yeah, I do some free complimentary questions, but my readings are $25. So the answer is no, I don't do any free readings. Hey guys, how are you? Hey guys, how are you? Oh, you know what? I forgot to bring my laptop. Shoot. I forgot to bring it. Oh, well. Hey, how are you? Good afternoon. Let me go get it. Let me go get my laptop. Hey guys, how are you? Happy Saturday. Over here. There we go. Hey guys, how are you? Usually when I stream on here, you guys can usually see my table. I switched cameras, so I'm streaming on TikTok, and you guys can see my table. So, all right, here we go. Anyway, how are you guys? So let me explain what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing free complimentary. These are yes and no, but I'm going to be using dice, and they're made of crystal. So this is two different forms of divination. One being lithomancy because they are a genuine crystal, and of course astrology, which is the dice. Okay. How are you guys? So just free yes and no. That's what we're doing here. Usually I do different things: bone, stones, crystals, crystal ball, you know, whatever. But today I'm doing the dice, and then my tarot and astrology is of course open. The list is open if you guys want to book one. If you want a reading, I am a love specialist, so anything with love life. I do a lot of career work as well. So if you want to book a reading, they're $25. I'll have New Year's readings as well if you want the horoscope. But remember, in astrology, the new year is really your birthday. That's when it starts the actual new year cycle for the person. New Year's January is just a calendar thing. It's not an astrology thing, but you can tell the rest of the year by making any month number 1. All right, so it's fine. It would actually be a quarter year reading if you want to be technical with astrology, because astrology, like I said, the new year is your birthday. But yes, I do offer New Year's readings as well. All right, so let's see. Okay, you're going to be asking. Okay, I got your question. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to be starting off. If anybody else has a question for me regarding, what I'm doing here, free yes and no, go ahead and put it down below. Thank you so much, Dee, for the likes. Okay, here we go. This is asking the question for Amazing Brunette, asking, is there a future with your boyfriend Yuri in 2026? No. Obviously you're going to have future together, because every day that goes by becomes the future. But I see what you're asking. Is there a future, meaning is there something long term? Are you going to stay together, or are you going to get closer and flourish as a couple? No. I do see another person in the picture. That is, so there's 2 love interests or connections in 2026. Okay, this is prominent. So the answer would be no. It doesn't last. There's a shift. There's going to be a shift. All right, Chrissy, is Tom starting to fall in love with you? Remember, guys, I'm an astrologer and a psychic, a tarotist. So if you want an astrology reading or psychic reading, do tarot or whatever, runes, whatever, I have it in my shop. Okay, so these are complimentary yes and no. And today I'm in particular, I'm using dice, but usually I do crystal ball and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, Chrissy, is Tom starting to fall in love with you? Whoop. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry about that. Let me see. Hang on 1 second. Sorry. My camera fell. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on. I was streaming on another platform and I just died. Okay. I will come back on there. Camera just died. Let me answer your question. I'm sorry about that. Busy day. So is he starting to fall in love with you? As my stomach is grumbling. But I can read with a grumbling stomach. I would say no. I would say that there is a couple of things catch my eye here. The first one is there's like a returning love situation. So maybe someone that had a history with you wants to be back in the picture, and maybe you don't want it. It's almost like when 2 people are about to have a connection, about to have something happen, and this disruptive energy from the past kind of like casts a shadow over it. So there's that. It's almost like when a person's like trying to run away from a really bad situation. And then the other one is there's a focus with the guy you're asking about where there's going to be this shift in his work. So I don't know if it's his work schedule or his workplace. I would say work environment, whether he works for himself or not, whatever his work environment is. And there's going to be, not today, but in the future of 2026, I would say maybe by the beginning of spring, somewhere between now and the beginning of spring, there's going to be a love interest. He doesn't know this person yet. So that means if you can change this yourself, if you can look at the energy, obviously assess things every day like you normally, like you normally would, and you kind of see where that energy is moving, take the message and just maybe do something about it. Intervene. You don't have to like take this and then that's it and the answer is no. This means you have to work harder at it. So whatever connection, whatever you need to do, you know what I mean? Focus, because this is something that, you need to turn it into a yes stronger. You need to work at it stronger. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Next question, guys. Thank you so much. Michelle, did Ra choose to be with the third party instead of staying with you? I don't mean to be cynical or rude. I come across sometimes rude. I don't mean it. But is that serious? Like, really? You're asking that? Forget the psychic part. How about the woman logic part? He had one. Why? That's already making the choice. Why would you stay with something like that? You deserve better. Why would you even allow that he would choose that? The fact that you're even asking that, you should look to another direction and find yourself a winner. Now, don't stay with a loser. But anyway, I'll answer your question, sweetheart. Yes, this is, my stomach's loud. Sorry, I'm grumbling my stomach. This is a yes. This is, in the future, he's not going to just easily let you go. You're going to be more confused and it's going to affect your work. It's going to affect your workplace. I'm sorry, your work focus, not your workplace, your work focus. So you making money, you stepping up your A game with whatever you're doing, whether you're studying, whether you're getting a promotion, whether you're working hard at whatever it is that you do, that you put your focus on where money comes in, it's going to affect it. He's going to put you through in the very near future, in the next, within the next 3 months. So let's see, December's ending. So January, February, probably by the beginning of April. From here to the beginning of April, there's going to be some time period that you are going to be even more confused and more stressed out and almost like lost if you give in to that whole game, because he doesn't want to let you go either. So this is rough. If you allow him the power, it's rough. Okay, if you strip him from that power, then it's a win-win for you. Besides, there's going to be a change in your future when it comes to where you work. I don't know what you do. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you focus your career on, or sometimes it's not a career. Sometimes it's just making money. Profession and vocation are different things. Whatever it is that you do, for a living, there's going to be a change in that. Probably around the spring of 2026. And when you change what you do every day, when it naturally arrives, you're going to find love, something that really works for you. Or maybe they will find you, is what I'm trying to say. You will meet each other. But that person is far away. You don't know them yet. And you're going to have to go through a lot of this story. Remember that when you're intensely stressed out by somebody, 1 month can seem like 20 years to the heart, to the mind, okay? So you might forget what I said 3 months ago. It happens. That's why these are recorded. But take it a stride. But just go with your own intuition and just remember, how much are you being, sucked into this story? But change, when you finally had enough and you make a change, you'll see the change. Unfortunately, I see you sticking with it for a while. Okay, so, All right, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Let's see. Samantha, should you wait for him or move on? See, I don't want to make a decision for you, sweetheart. Now, what I can, because I'm a psychic, I'm not a love therapist, I'm not any of those titles. So I can just look into the future with my abilities and look into the past and look into the present. If you want me to assess your situation, I would need to do a deeper reading. And I still don't tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what's hidden, what's coming, and you make the choice. And yes, sometimes I express myself in a way that kind of makes a choice because I do have an opinion, but I don't, I don't style my readings that way. It's up to you. All right. So if you want to change the question for me, would be very happy to answer it for you, but don't put the pressure on me to make that choice. Okay. It's your choice, your life, your choice. All right, guys, if you have a question, go ahead and put it down. I do sell readings. I'm a professional astrologer and psychic medium, so I use tarot as well. If you want to book a love reading, you can do so through the stream. All right, let's see. That's not my stomach grumbling. That's a motorcycle. Okay, if you have a question, put it down below. Okay, Ray, do you see 2026 being a pivotal for your music career? All right, let's check. By the way, just to let you know, FYI, this might help you or this might stress you. But if you want me to look at the destiny of your career, I will tell you if I do your astrology. Sometimes that kills the joy in the moment. I had one person one time that wanted to be an actress. She had her heart set on it. But I looked at her career and I looked at her destiny and, sure enough, that's not what it panned out to be. And she was very heartbroken. But then there's been some surprises too. So if you really, really want me to look and tell you what the stars say, I'll let you know. But if you're looking for the energy answer right now, I will definitely give you an answer, okay? So let me see. But just don't confuse what's happening today as the long term, what you're meant to do, your hat in life, okay? Hopefully it is music. All right, let's see. Do you see 2026 being a pivotal music? Okay. Yes, in a way. I see it being pivotal because you change your direction. You make a lot of decisions that clear a way where today it seems clear, but tomorrow it will be confusing. And there's going to be some things you clear away completely, almost like a reset in your perspective. Sometimes that can equal out to be style or some component that equals signature characteristic. So yes, it is pivotal in that way. It's also pivotal in the way that you will be changing who you deal with. And I think that is important. As far as discovery or growth or something like that, I don't see that at this time for 2026. Again, this question is only pertaining to the next couple of months. Sometimes it does include longer term, but it's not a year reading. I do actual New Year's readings. I do year-long readings and things. This is just a free question, so you have to kind of like apples to apples. But it does reveal what the energy focus is. And I would say that it's pivotal because of your inner self and what you realize about your environment. Not necessarily because of anything grandiose where your surrounding discovery comes in. So this wouldn't be the year that. It's a year of transition. All right. Thank you so much. All right, guys. What's the next question? Megan, will you find love in 2026? There is a love. There is a love. And there is a love already, and there's been an issue with it. I don't know if it's that you haven't really started things up or you want to solidify things, but there's a person in the picture. Now, if you recently got rid of them, that's a whole other thing. I would know the answer to that if I did a full tarot reading, because that's what I do. I don't need the person to tell me a story. I'm the psychic, so I would see your story, but understand that's not what this is. This is a yes and no. So I'm reading the energy. I don't have the details until I lay out the reading, understand? So there is a person in the picture. Whether you decide this or not, maybe your heart belongs somewhere else. This is a person wanting to fall in love, so I do see that. This is almost like you want a new love and you don't want the love you have, or you don't maybe give it value, or maybe you outgrew it. I don't know. There's a conflicting energy here with you. So if a person asks a love question and there is a heart out there that chooses you and manifests you, I'm going to pick up on that. All right. So if you want, sometimes the signature or energy of a lover is still on the person. So whatever this is, the answer is no, not for right now. This is telling me there's an interruption or disruption to a love connection. And that's what this reading tells me. So based on this, I would say no. Let's see how things unfold. If you want to book a reading, I could do your horoscope, see what's going to be happening. But anyway, the answer is no. Hope I helped. Okay, Era, will you start working next year? Now remember, if you're not filling out for a job, readings are not to cheat life. So if you're asking that question to me and I don't see your problem areas, because if I were doing a reading, I'd say, oh, that's what they're doing. But I'm not. It's a yes and no. So if you're asking a question where you're tripping the spiritual energy, so that means that you're not filling out for work, you're not putting effort in your resume, you're not trying, you give up, or you're not doing a good job. This is not to tell you all the things you're effing up on. So I'm going to ask the question, but understand the purity of your connection with your question must be there as well. That is validity, okay? So I will ask. Okay. No, this talks about a problem that you've had. And when a person's trying to run away from something or end something abruptly, no, the direction of where you're headed is not the best direction. So I would say no for now. Obviously, a person cannot stay in that situation. Obviously, at some point, people make a living. So you will be getting work. But understand that for now, there's something troubling what you're asking. There's an issue surrounding what you're asking. There's drama surrounding what you're asking. All right, let's see. I did get a reading come in. I do have some people that already booked, but I haven't seen them. I will be on tonight, so that's why probably. Okay, so this one is, let's see. This one is for the, I'm going to go ahead and take, all right. Give me 1 second so I can do your reading. I used to stream with a lot of music, and I used to have like really good playlists. But since I stream on different platforms now, they screen for the copyright on the songs, and I'm tired of dealing with that. So, all right. So this is for Reyes, J. Reyes. How can I help you, sweetheart? This one was the, let me pull up your order. Oh, it's you. Oh, hey, George. I didn't recognize you. Okay, this is New Love Coming Soon. Okay, yeah, not a problem. This is Astrology with Tarot. Okay, let's get started. Oh, with the music? What are you talking about? What times? What do you mean? Oh, am I butting into a conversation with someone else? Oh, oh, thank you. Well, this platform was just sold and negotiated, even though it was already sold, way before part of it. But for the content creators, next month is a whole big shift. And you know that I've been putting a lot of effort on the other stream, the other place, you can't say. So we're about to see. But yeah, it just, every time I do a archive recording. Okay, so this is the Is New Love Coming? So I'm going to do a horoscope, okay? I'm going to start off with the horoscope and then we're going to look at the tarot part. So let's find out. Let's find out. And I can't believe I was streaming on the other spot and and it fell when I was doing that. I was like, oh my God, my camera fell. Let me see. But I don't know, sometimes quiet is better. Because think about it, sometimes people get annoyed by music, I don't know. So quiet is better, I think. Especially if the reading is rough, Sometimes, unfortunately, readings can be stressful. People get nervous, Okay. All right. So I'm just bringing up your horoscope just to see what's going to be happening. And so we're looking for love. So let's go ahead and do that. I just need to set it up real quick. All right, let's see. Yes, my stomach grumbles a lot at this time. I OMAD for a couple of years now. You would think my tummy would be used to it, but no. I live on water and tea and stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So, let's see. September 21st. Usually I delete all this, but I know you've gotten several, so I'm like, let me hold on to it in a note so that in case I don't have to bug you with asking you every time. Do you remember what time? And you have to type it, and I was like, okay. Okay, let's see. But knowing now, I'll probably delete it by accident and be like, oh shoot, now he's got to tell me next time. No, but when it comes to weird cities and stuff that are not weird, no, but not as common when it's in other places, exotic places and stuff, it's hard to spell. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I always got confused by that one. Okay, there we go. All right, I believe I got it. Happy holidays, by the way. All right, so now I have to set up this part for love. This is a specific love horoscope. So just give me 1 second. Now you could hear the dogs barking and stuff in the, maybe a neighbor or something. Okay, here we go. So I have to do 21.00001. Let's see. I'm just doing some things here to pull up the love in particular. and quiet, actually. Almost there. One more. Okay. Anti-vertex. Lot of fortune. Doop, doop, doop. There we go. All right. Okay, so the first thing I see is that you're going to have oh boy, this is not that good. Let's address it. So when it comes to the person that you've been into for a while, so I believe Crystal is, I think, her name. Oh, Crystal, right? I used to always confuse it with my cat's name. It's Crystal. This person, it seems like this is who it's going to be, because this talks about a cycle that repeats, and it's coming in where this person is with someone else at this time. And so this is very near future. So I would say we're going to start off, since today is December 27th, this is going to place it at about within the next 3 weeks, something like that. That's where we're starting. This is that you're going to have a reconnection to kind of falling for this person again. So it's not like you fell out of being interested, but it's a repetition where you yearn for marriage, or maybe you yearn for something very deep and stable. So you are the married type, even if you go through, like a bachelor phase and dating and all of that. This is a very you're going to feel these intense feelings, but there's something that's going to be happening, because I'm not someone who focuses too much on feelings, even though they're very important. I like things going, actual happenings. So pay attention more to the event I'm talking about. There is a revisiting where emotionally you're going to see something or feel something where you see her with someone, and it kind of like awakens a lot of what you thought you suppressed. Now it gets more complicated, because there's talking about 2 women that are also in this experience, in this life, in this situation of your life right now coming. So this is probably one that you have a little bit of history with, and someone new where the connection can intensify. So what this means for you is a period of delayed confusion in your love life where you don't know what direction to take. And that is what I'm focusing on in this horoscope, because this horoscope is love coming. So we start again where there's this love confusion that hits hard. And it can also cost you a good move. So this means that your thoughts, your desires, your feelings, and all of that, it's kind of like your head space, your thoughts, your choices can make this more confusing for you. And it can, based on direction you go to, you make the wrong choice. So this is not good at all. This is also a time where you can self-deceive. You can be deceptive to yourself by thinking and convincing yourself in a new direction. No, you have to, your thinking direction cannot be that way. You can't look at it flawed. You have to move forward and make the brave choice. If you consult your emotions too much with your thoughts, that's the hard part. You got to go with your head at this time. Your head leads the body, not your heart. Your heart is very confused. All right, let's check it out. What's going to be happening as well. Let's see what else I see here with love. So I do see a situation that can start online. This is with communication, and you can really have a disruption to harmony. Now, the good part that comes out of this is that a lesson is learned from this. So this is with love indirectly, because this is when a person engages in communication. It almost feels like if you're talking to a friend dating a person, or you're talking to friends related to someone that you're dating or wanting to date. I don't know your story here, but this is the surrounding group. And there's something that you communicatively engage in. So it could be an online space where you communicate, or you get messages, whatever. But there's definitely something digital in this. Sometimes it could be group texts, or maybe right after the other heavily. And the problem is that it brings a disruption here. I see a disruption, and this is with a man. So it kind of feels like Crystal's boyfriend, who's your friend, I think, because the reason I say that is because there's a long history with this person, but it could also be someone you speak to. But this is a man. And there's women involved, or the theme of attraction. Let's see what else I see here. Okay. You also will become confused spiritually. So this is a period of time, just briefly, but this is a period of time where either your own dreams, or maybe it's advice from someone or something like that, forms a wedge between what you should do. So separate it like this. Your mind has all the experience and intelligence to move you forward with logic. Your intuition and your feelings, sometimes people confuse them. They think that what they really deeply want in their heart is the spiritual direction, and it's not. They're actually separate. So think of intuition as a third eye, and think as your heart and gut feeling kind of being confused, where the gut feeling is tied to here and the heart is tied to what you want. Understand that. This is when you cannot decide what to do in this situation. So this is not right now, this is coming. You understand? Now, another thing too, there's a discomfort. Now, I realize I'm getting into actual horoscope topics, but this is all indirectly linked to the love topic. Okay, so it's things that are going to affect you. So this is, again, connected to either a love interest, someone you're talking to, someone interested in you. This is why it's interwoven. This is why I'm addressing it, because you're going to want to know the hardships of what you're going to be going through. Emotionally, I see that there could be something that you go through with, I should say, arguments or enemies, or something difficult that happens. Because this is heated energy. A person has a temper. They get upset. And it can disrupt your internal system. So it can hurt your stomach. It can hurt your digestion, sleep patterns. You might feel drained because of this. In one part, you are super active with trying to solve a problem, and then the body is not doing what the mind wants. So this might tie into, wrong foods, wrong sleep pattern, disruption. When stress hits a person bad enough, that this is a disruption. It's a very short period of time. It's not long. I do see another attractive energy happening here. This is something insignificant. I see attraction coming in, but not a relationship. This is someone you start to like, and they either don't know you yet or they like you, but this is more a lusty connection. So this is more like when it's there's not direct, let's learn our personalities and bond. This is more the, looking from afar, this person's really attractive kind of thing. So like, kind of like a love crush, but not like romantic-y falling in love, but more like, the other part, the attraction part. I do see that coming in quite strong. So this is a new person. And that's a little bit later. Okay, this is now a flip, a reverse. Wow. Okay, complicated. Okay, so this is one female. So go back to the beginning of this horoscope. And I told you that there was the one that seemed like crystal to me because it seemed like a switch goes off. Remember when I told you that? And then there were two other connections, one that is new and one that there's been a history with. There's a complete reverse ninja thing going on here. You're going to be kind of like pursued with attraction with one of those females. And this is where it gets tricky. So it talks about you. That's interesting because it's like you sit there one day desiring something to flow the way you want, and it doesn't happen. And then 3 months later, when you ignore it and you're like, forget it, the hell with it, and then it happens. There's interesting because this is what this is looking like. Something that you wanted with clarity. Oh, this is timing. You have a timing issue. Yeah, I can see why too. Natally, what's going on with Saturn? Okay, so Chiron, lots of things here. Okay, anyway, moving back to the horoscope, there's also going to be, okay, so you at some point before the the person coming back trying to get with you, because this is you being pursued, called, flirted with, the whole 9 yards. Before that, there's something within you that changes, and it's fueled by drastic anger. I'm pissed off. I don't want to, the hell with this. This is where it gets to you, it gets under your skin. Something happens where you just kind of put your foot down and you change. And what's interesting is you're going to see a change in your behavior pretty soon that you're like, where the hell did this come from? All right, it's you evolving. So there's that. And then the female, and then let me ask you something. Are you going to school for anything? Are you learning any kind of training or anything like that, George? Are you trying to get like any kind of certificate, or are you a student? Are you in any environment that's learning environment? Maybe if it's training at work. Is there anything like that going on or about to happen in the next couple of months? Okay, you're learning new stuff at work. Okay. When you get a little bit more into your learning, use the time marker that I'm telling you. Because this is going to hit that chronological moment. So let's say that a person would say to me, yes, I'm starting training for working in another area in my work, and I'm starting it on January 27th. Let's just say that would be the answer. I'd say, okay, we'll highlight the 27th. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you do, this talks about getting a lot of attraction, attention, flirtation to you from sources that you're not interested in, or maybe it's that you're just not paying attention to. So there's something that happens where you have a little bit of flirtation or attention, eyes are on you kind of thing. It's the moment. So this talks about, let me tell you, you're not going to be paying attention at this time. This is you tuning a lot of things out because you've just been through a shitstorm emotionally, right? And you don't pay attention to it. Well, this is how you use a horoscope to your advantage. I'm trying to tell you that where your headspace is at and where your choices are, you're moving in the wrong direction. This is like a compass telling you, hello, what are you doing? You're supposed to do this the other way if you want a better result. Start paying attention to new directions. Start paying attention to what's paying attention to you. All right? So this is important. This can bring you a relief in a whole new way. Talk about being proactive. I also see this is a little bit strange, but is it possible that you don't know that you would go on a double date? Double dates are not really something too common, but this talks about you going with a friend somewhere and they're taking, their lady, and you have one on your arm, but or you, when you get there, you end up clicking with someone. This talks about that experience as well. So, do I see an actual girlfriend at this time? No, but you know what? Let me go ahead and fast forward the time on this. 1 second. Let me see something. Let's go a little bit further. I'm going to go a couple months into the future. Let's do this date. Let me see what's going on here. All right. Almost there. I'm checking now for a girlfriend, a stable relationship. Not that month. Interesting stuff. For example, I see you cutting ties with someone by mid-January. Love-wise. But let's go ahead a little bit further. Let's go, let's do it a little bit later. Oh, shoot. One moment. Wait a minute. There we go. Yes. I see a hit. Yes, I do. Oh, wait, no, it's interrupted. All right, let me keep checking. Let me go back. Let me look at January again. Let's go to March. Intense January. All right, let me go to March. Okay, make a note of this. There's a water sign that kind of takes your breath away. That's going to be an interesting connection. I like that. That's interesting. This is March. Let's look further. I'm looking for the most important part. Okay, we're in May. Keep looking. I mean, I see some stuff, but I don't have time to go over every month, you know? I'm just looking for the nitty-gritty. I'm looking for the big aha moment. Oh. All right, we're in June. June is juicy. All right. We're in July. Okay, July, write it down. It's a highlight. July, you're going to be talking to a girl. Talking, you know? You know, I'm saying talking like when a person is starting to talk to see where it goes. Like talking, you know? Okay. July, very important. We're in August. Why am I beeping? Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh God, I wish we had more time to go over everything, but it's okay. It's a lot of stuff anyway. All right, let me see. All right, I'm gonna leave this here a minute because I have to go to, there's so much stuff going on. It gets complicated. It's really, really complicated. So I'm gonna just go into the tarot and I'll tie in the rest of the astrology. But I gotta go in right now. And I apologize if I haven't seen what you're writing. So let me go ahead and go back and make sure I didn't miss anything that you said. No, you're not cooked. Don't say that. You know what's happening? Okay, so what's happening is that I'm looking for, you know, the exact like harmonious moment and for it to be stable. But I'm missing, because I'm doing it in such a hurry, I'm missing like filling you in on a lot of the details, because my eye's on the ball. So, but every month has so many things and so much to unravel. And there's a lot of things that you don't consider and that you should, and things that can go wrong with something that starts. So there's a story to each one, and I'm just ignoring that and looking to, okay, I just want the solution, right? It's very linear thinking with that kind of scanning the future. But anyway, let me go with the tarot and into the other part, and it'll all tie in. So again, when is love coming? Okay, so that's the answer. Oh, and there's something else too. Timeline. Okay. There's something, okay, so I would say that I stopped and said something about July. There's a story there. This is before July. My concern is before. Yeah, but you gotta realize I'm not trying to make the reading about her, because it's my responsibility in this reading to look if a new love is coming, like a love that works, that you could call your own. And what I'm seeing so far when I'm doing the astrology part is that there's a lot of things you don't want to consider that are going your way. Like, for example, women interested in you that you just don't feel the vibe back. There's things that go your way and you're not feeling it at the right time. There's things that catch you emotionally way too deep and bother you and kind of distract you from your own A game. So because a lot of this is that it's your own motivation, that's what I'm seeing. There's so much that, like, when you're in the mindset and you're in the mood to go forward, and then there's things happening in your life where you get caught up in what you want versus what you should do, or versus what's the direction you should be in. And when you're in that moment, it's kind of like when a person's going to eat a dinner and they're not hungry, right? But it's their time to eat and they're not hungry. It's a good analogy because the body has to be wanting the food, right? If not, it's just ew, no matter how wonderfully it was cooked. And it's kind of like that. You know, I see that there's like a mismatch in what the things that are happening around you, and then there's parts of you being cynical, going, oh, I don't believe in it, or I don't care, or, you know, and there's so much to the story because of the way you judge them, or the way that you quickly just, you're not feeling it and you don't believe in it. So instead of me looking at this linear approach of your future, you know, as a person coming in, it's so tainted with other energies, like other decisions and other things. So your focus is off. If your focus is not on, then that's going to be the result that you get, right? So you're not really focused on what the best direction is for you. You're focused on what you want and you're focused on the future, but there's a lot you're holding on to from the past. Okay, give me 1 second. So I am going to figure out the crystal part, but I don't want to make it all about her. I want to make it about the girlfriend that's supposedly going to stay stable. And the beginning of the energy of the dice reading is saying the same thing that I'm telling you in astrology. So I'll read it like this. There is a female that, let me see if it's the same one I saw for, what was it? January, was it February, January? Let me see. Yeah. Same thing coming up. So January, February, those 2 months, there is someone that likes you and is drawn to you, but it's almost like you don't see it. Okay, that's the first one where there's other girls and other activities and other stiff stuff going on. I'm trying to tell you the direction of where you should be looking, all right, to kind of fix this jagged path. So now we're back in January and February, and we're taking also like the last piece of December. That's where I'm in at this time. And the energy that I'm seeing is you're going to have like a 360 focus with love. So you're going to be caught in, that's probably the crystal part, and then thrown back out. So it's like, so it's a ride within a ride. It also causes you to miss, unless you use this reading proactively and you notice it and do something about it, now that you know some intel on the future. So there's going to be someone that within your workspace, or someone that maybe goes to your workplace, or someone that's in your workplace, I don't know, but you would know because you would see the look. Women are very easy to read. When they're interested, they're not going to look, but they might look really, really like simple. But if you're really paying attention, you could tell, Women sometimes are a little bit hidden when they look at someone they like. So you have to kind of be aware. If you're not aware, then you're not going to notice it because women are very subtle. Men are more obvious. So there's someone that does like you and smiles and is interested, or will be, I should say, this is near future. And your focus goes caught up in what I was telling you about, the drama that began the horoscope. And you change your focus. This is not good. This is the energy of right now. So it's you changing your mindset and your thoughts and your focus. That's what I see. Now let's go in with the tarot and see what's going on. This cord is bothering me. It's in my way. Get that out of the way. There we go. Better. Any questions, concerns so far, George? Anything that you need? I'm sorry that I didn't dart my eyes to the screen before, but I was so caught up in counting on the charts. But I want to make sure I give the screen attention. So if you have anything to say, because my eyes are going to be on what I'm doing, let me know before I start this part. Anything you're worried about or anything? We're good? Okay. Right. And that's why the this year, a little piece of this year begins the new year for you with love, only with love, not other topics. So watching them thrive and then knowing what belongs to you and knowing what's not coming to you, and that whole like stress, where you just want it solved and just, for it to take wings and take off, and it doesn't, and you're hurt and you're back and forth, and all of that drama begins the reading. You know what I'm saying? So that's a stressful thing. So a little bit of some of that stuff begins the new year for you with love, and it gets more complicated. But it's not something that, I think if you're aware of the future and you use the reading in a very intelligent way, plus your own feelings and what you assess and what you feel, you can change this. You can change this, So there's a great deal of, spying here. And the problem is that there's been some cruelty. So I don't know if you've been verbally cruel to a significant person, or they have been cruel to you verbally. Have you been a victim of that yet? Well, you don't have to answer that, but just, don't worry about it. It's just, moving along here. Okay, so this is telling me a little bit about the past. This talks about, with your love life in general, this talks about misunderstandings, hurts, watching things that the more you watch videos or posts or just a person driving by, whatever you allow your eyes to look at, is just going to wake up further stress for you. Why do you allow that? I'm thinking to myself, put your focus and people sit there sometimes. I've seen it. I've seen the pattern with, when I read for folks, and my question is, why do you keep viewing content and posts and pictures and even things in real life? Why do you allow the eyes to look at things that stress you and bother you? Shut that out. Shut that out. If there's a bad song playing, you turn that off, right? Out of sight, out of mind, right? Anyway, because there's this habit, this pattern here. So this talks about abandonment. This talks about like a person just having enough and leaving a situation. So this could be you hanging up, or this part of this is the past. So this might be just what happened, but it can also be just what has led to what's about to happen too, because the past ties into what we do currently. This is quite a story. It talks about verbal cruelty. It talks about emotional hurt. It talks about coldness. It talks about abandonment, emotional abandonment. Okay, and this is what this talks about. So this also talks about faith. And this can be in spiritual things. This can also be in things that are either like through magical spiritual stuff, or it could be just like church spiritual stuff, whatever. This talks about having faith in general and feeling like their faith is not working. Like when a person kind of is so stressed out and they go to the spiritual side of their life and they say, are they really protected? Are they not? Is this really what's supposed to happen? They start to get, the stress carries out into their spiritual beliefs. Okay, so this talks about that. Okay. Okay. All right, we're going to change pace here a minute. I'm getting into things you have just experienced. I don't care too much about that. You've lived through some of that very recently, and it's showing up as partial future because emotionally it triggers, right? So because it emotionally exists within you, it triggers. But I'm going to change my focus. This reading is called Is New Love Coming? And that's exactly, I'm going to shift out the noise, and this is what I'm focusing on, okay? So I'm just switching gears here a minute so I can tune in on what needs to... So give me a second. My hair's caught in my bracelet. It's not comfortable. Hang on, I have my hair caught in my bracelet. Sorry. All right, this is the second attempt that I have at looking at the new girlfriend, right? And this, what's happening is Crystal is coming up in this, talking about being cruel to you. Do you want me to move on, or do you want me to talk about this? This is disrupting where I'm headed. I'm going to force it anyway as we move along. Yes. So, for example, ignoring or verbally saying something. Yeah, I'm explaining it. Yeah, so it makes sense. So this talks about an argument, or when a person engages in sometimes, so there's different types of arguments, obviously, but no matter what, there's discord. And this is when there's things that are said that the person feels kind of like a, like a punch to the gut, right? So like a blow emotionally. So it's when you are engaging in conversation and all of a sudden there's like this coldness. But this also talks about watching someone do steps that with someone else that they didn't do with you. That's why I was talking so much about how much, if content that you view hurts you, that's why this is coming up. So all I'm saying to you is that this story is all about you being hurt by her, whether it's with words to you, or because sometimes someone can say something without intentionally hurting. Like, let's say that she has a conversation with you about how wonderful vacation she's going to take with somebody, right? You like her, so that hurts you. I'm just making up that story. That part is not in this reading, but I'm just conveying an example. That would be something that hurts, right? So in some way, shape, or form, there's a coldness. Now, you got to understand she does mistreat you. Everybody around you that cares about you, it is obvious to them, and you sit and take it. So you have to understand that as well. I understand, but you will. Remember that that I also talked about. Yes. So what I'm saying to you is this is where it starts. I think you're confused on what I'm saying. There's a confusion because I'm explaining a story and you are confused. Let me finish this up and I'll clarify it, okay? Okay, give me a minute. Okay, well, I got that part. All right, I'm finished with that part, okay? Actually, no, let me do one more card on this, and then I'll explain this part to you, okay? All right. You got the horoscope part. You got that there's a girlfriend in your future for 2026. But there's going to be a lot of emotions that you go through that don't match what's going on. And there's a lot of missed opportunities that you have because you're not focused in the right way. So 2026 is about you trying to be okay in here, and there's too much going on, and sometimes you make the right move and sometimes you don't. And that's summing it up. Now we're going to go to the tarot part. On the tarot part, we're going to jump into some details. Again, looking for love coming in. Now, when I first did it, the tarot part, I tapped into a situation going on heavily with you and Crystal. I recognize the energy because it is her. I picked it up and I wanted to stir it in a new direction and penetrate that energy anyway and go on to the girlfriend part. And again, I get into the story even deeper now. So this is where Spirit wants it. This is, we cannot push it anymore. This story has to be told first to you. Crystal and you are going to speak. Okay? We already knew this when I started the astrology horoscope reading. I don't know if you understood that, but a refreshing trigger is pressed when it comes to you and her. And we talked about that, and I talked about it being very chaotic at that time. We're getting the story in a different way now because tarot tells the long story. So you and her are going to speak again. And there can be, at some point when you speak, some discord. Okay, so that means that the conversation flow of what takes place, or perhaps several conversations, they're not with the intention of arguing, but there's some awkwardness that pops up, right? And you are mistreated because you are given the cold shoulder that she gives. The one that you ignore and forgive, and other people around you say, why do you put up with that? You understand? Sound familiar? This talks about selfishness. This talks about a person being cruel. Now, the problem is if you are dealing with a person that you love and they are cruel and you don't see it, that's a problem, you know? So this is when a person wants attention, and this is, this starts a problem. So that is that is the first drama that I see in your love life in 2026, is that you and Crystal communicate and it opens up a can of worms. Do you understand what I'm saying to you now? And this is what stirs you from your best direction forward. It clogs your thinking. It clogs your thinking. It clogs your focus. It messes you up because you're doing all right without that chapter, and now here comes again the trigger. You see? So this is why I'm saying this is something that you need to know, that we can't skip over. Okay. All right. Let's address the situation. There is someone in the picture right now that has not panned out. Do you want to talk about her? You're going to feel differently in the future. It's not going to be, you know, the way that's why I said to you that there was so much chaos when I saw it, because right now you are you've become comfortable with what is, and you're just like, yeah, whatever, Lino, let's just, let this pass. But this is why this triggers you. And this is what kind of is really upsetting to anybody that cares about you, because it's almost like, why does she have to open that door again? Like, why the trigger again and again? It's not fair to you. But anyway, moving along. So there is someone that potentially could be your girlfriend, but you're just not open to it. So most women are not going to sit there, asking a guy out. That's not the way it works. If she's said sweet things to you, or if she's said hello, and you don't seem to, address it back, maybe the ones that are more aggressive, maybe those are the ones you shouldn't pick. Maybe the ones that are subtly, there's someone that you just haven't paid attention to. So, for example, let's say that you have unread messages from, I don't know if you do dating apps, but that's a good example. Let's say that there's someone who, women are just going to just say, hello, how are you? Make small conversation, or just smile. They're not going to sit there, aggressively pursuing a guy. It's just not comfortable to them. their hello and their looks should be enough for you to say, she said hello, she smiled, now it's your job. And if you kind of miss it, because, you know, then you're not, you can let it happen and that's it. You know, she's going to think, oh, he's with somebody, you know. But this talks about someone in particular that has tried to see if you continue the connection or, you know, what you do, and you just haven't. So before something starts to be a crush, you have to at least let the person know there's interest, right? You have to at least say hi back before a little crush starts, you know? So anyway, I don't know what kind of headspace you're in, but you're missing some opportunities even today. This is going to intensify in the new year. Some you will notice and some you won't. Some will actually be in the picture trying to talk to you, and that's the whole thing. All right. Okay, it's repeating. Okay. Okay. One more thing. I'm going to tell you the closing part of the reading, but one more thing I got to close. Yeah. So this is what I have for you, okay? To sum up the entire reading is love. No. Next year is not bad. It's juicy, interesting, complicated, annoying, chaotic, important, necessary, all of the good things, okay? Yeah, some parts are. It's a year where you change, let me see something a minute. Very important. I don't know why I didn't do this before. Give me 1 second. This is very important for you. I'm gonna figure something out here. What perfection year you're in, I need to find out. That's an airplane. Every year, astrology has an annual theme for you. I like that. Every year, every person has, for the year, the stars, the planets, astrology has kind of like a year theme for your life every year. Let's find out what yours is for this year. It's important. It doesn't determine everything, but it gives you a flavor of some things to come. We're almost done. Thank you for your patience. Okay. So you are in a 5th house perfection year. And that is pretty strong. That's pretty strong because this year, you got to realize something. The calendar year in astrology, the calendar year in astrology is not January to December. In astrology, a new year is your birthday. That completes a year cycle of your life. It's from birthday to birthday, right? So, and your perfection year is not measured either by January to December. So you're going to be in a 5th year perfection year as well in part of 2026. This is important because this can bring a relationship that leads to marriage, is absolutely possible. And it's also one where you can be engaged. It's one where you can just fall in love brand new again. Okay? And it's also a time where the love that you've been wanting can manifest. It's very important. It is possible. So you're getting this reading, and I'm going to break it down for you. Why am I doing this? Why do I explain things extra to you? It's not because you're dumb, because you're very smart. But I have a hard time sometimes talking to Virgos. I don't know why. But maybe I do know why, astrologically. But a lot of times I'm misunderstood, you know. Anyone that has a Virgo identity, so sun, moon, rising, or stelliums. So when I speak, I think I sound either too poetic or cryptic, and they just don't get it. But to me, I'm being forthcoming and kind of blunt or direct, you know. But we have like a mishap, and you seem to understand what I say a lot, but there's a lot of misunderstandings too. So here's the breakdown. So the reading that you got is, is new love coming? We checked with astrology. And astrology is letting me know that you will have more than one opportunity. Astrology is letting me know that the big problem in this horoscope as we look in the year is that your mental and emotional focus on love can cost you opportunities that are there for you, and can also subject you into taking avenues that you shouldn't. And you should start understanding what your gut feeling, your thoughts, your what's coming from your intelligence and your head space, your experiences versus your emotions versus your gut feeling and intuitive space. And you have to really separate all three, and then listen to the people around you, listen to your own faith, your own spirituality, and assess, is this really what I should do? Am I following a pattern that I always fall back on? Am I really supposed to be doing things like this? So there's a lot of inner growth for you. There's also a lot of things where you realize things. There's also a decision or two that you make. So in 2026, it's going to be one of the pinnacle points is that you make a decision emotionally for yourself that you need to make. And nothing is going to prepare you to do it except for the experience itself. So you have to go through that. Now, let's focus on love. Is there a girlfriend that is destined, that is this there for you, that it's a opportunity that has presented itself to you? Yes. Is she already has she arrived in the destiny timeline? Yes. I have seen it. I already told you. There is a female at your job. How? I don't know where you work. It doesn't matter. I don't need to know. I gotta get this feeling it's something with shipping or something that's related to that, but I don't care right now. It doesn't really matter. It has to do with, there's someone, she can either work there, she could be above you in position, she could be a customer there. It doesn't matter. I know that if you focus and you ask your own spirit guides and ancestors for clarity, they will help you out. I know what I'm saying to you. there's an opportunity there that you don't see this connection, but it's there, and it would be a very rewarding love experience for you, relationship for you, but it has to have wings. You have to go through the bond, the crush, the connection, and there's a lot of disruptive energy around you. Why? Because I'm seeing that you're going to have several females that you are in and out connection with, and then those that more that come forward because you're in a 5th year perfection. Of course, you're going to have a heavy flirtation, moments where you are noticed more. No moments. This is like a very intense time. The 5th house is ruled by Leo, and it is attraction. It's spotlight. It's a time. A 5th house perfection is about passion. It's about romance. It's a highlight on a love life. There's a lot of things in this time that next year the focus will be different. It will be a totally different flavor, totally different vibe. Very, very different, journey that awaits you when it enters the 6th. But right now you're in the 5th. This is a great time for someone that's wanting love to accept the love that's presenting itself, to connect with things, to get outside your headspace. You have a karma where your own love tragedy comes from your choices. You see? You are addicted to what does not serve you. You are choosing something poisonous rather than something that's benign. And you, even though right now the door is closed, but the door is closed because it closed not really by your choice, because in your heart it's still open, see? So you don't play tricks with yourself. This is going to wake up again, and you're going to accept it, unfortunately, with Crystal. There's a whirlwind. I talked about that chaos in the beginning. It's going to get more complicated, but only if you let it. So this is, thank you so much, Merle. So this is, just kind of like an awakening. The reading is not just for you to take it and see, how it unfolds. But the reading is also for you to take a deep dive into your own reality and pop the balloon with a pin and go pop, and then just look at things totally different and say to yourself, the reality that you're waiting for something to happen and life is saying, it's happening and you're not walking through the door, dude. You're just not following, like, hello, bingo, you're not seeing what's the forest for the trees. You have to start enjoying what you're not enjoying. Your bitterness, your worries, your stress, your thinking pattern is costing you joy. The 5th house perfection year is also about how much you allow yourself to enjoy and how much you're putting yourself through the sacrifice of not enjoying. Do you really know how to be happy? Is happiness so unattainable that it sounds like a pipe dream, like a facade? So it's pointing you in a direction of go get it, go get it. No, I wouldn't say that. I could see how you see that. I guess in a way you're allowing, okay, if I'm going to interpret your comment by the way you mean it, I would say yes. But for me, I have really read for people that are true enemies to themselves. And I don't see you that way. I see you as a person that you have a very deep fire for living and for what you want. And you've been confused, and it's not really your fault. I think that you just go with the flow with your heart, where you have to kind of go with the flow and harden your heart and go with your head more. I think that you're a lot of feeling, a lot of, you're just a softie in some ways, But no, I don't think you're your worst enemy. I just think that you have to look at your choices and look at things differently. You could tell a million friends what not to do so they don't get tricked, but when it comes to you, you take the bait sometimes. You could be manipulated sometimes by women, and you don't, you could give advice to everybody else, but when it comes to you, you don't see it. So all I'm saying is make better choices and start looking at things differently. I think you should be happy. Find a million reasons to be happy. Find a million reasons to have joy. Enjoy your life, George. Enjoy. Be happy. And don't live so stressed out, so nervous and so stressed out. Look more, because you're missing opportunities that are around you. So the 5th year is, so there is a girlfriend, okay? You will have one. You will have more than one choice. You're going to be noticed more this new year, but remember, it's not because it's the new year. It's because the perfection is carrying out into the intensity of its 5th year, because I explained to you calendar-wise how it works in astrology. There's a lot for you to enjoy, but what's not fun is that you're first going to encounter a drama and a half with Crystal. It's going to take you into some kind of, like I explained. Be ready for that. If you prepare yourself for that and you take your heart back this year and have it be yours and not give it away so easily, because it still is hers in a way, if you're going to be honest with yourself. Because if she chose you to go off into the sunset, you'd say, give me 2 seconds and jump in. And that's not where your heart should be. But yeah, so is new love coming? Yes. Is it going to be more than one choice? Yes. The first one I want you to focus on is the work connection. And then I want you to understand that drama only happens if you let it. And people only have power if you give it to them. Be ready for a lot of chaos, a lot of fun, and a lot of lessons. And that's what I say about your new love. So I would say the hot points are January, February, March, even a piece of December, if you want to think about it that way, technically. And then the summer has some highlights too. That's not, and especially July, but that's, I want you to focus on right now, because right now is the most important. So the beginning of this year. That doesn't mean the rest of the year there's nothing. It gets interesting, but for your new love focus, I'm telling you in this reading, astrology and tarot, everything I'm telling you, it's pointing to now. Focus on now. Yes. 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 You got it. You got it. If you have any questions or any stress or any concerns, let me know. Usually you're really good with understanding my readings. I do try to be as descriptive as possible, but I do understand that Virgos, sometimes I'm talking and it's like I talk like that. They don't understand me. So if I did say something that confused you, let me know. Okay. And thank you, George. You should just take your life and enjoy it as much as you can this year. And just look at the positive. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Keep your eyes open, because stop not believing, and stop believing that the answer's coming later and you have to be more patient and you really don't believe it'll come and it'll be 3 years from now. Stop it. Time is now. Now. I want you to focus now on the girlfriend. Now manifest. Now keep your eyes peeled. Now every time someone says hi, say hi. I like your outfit. Or whatever the hell pickup line you use. I want you to work that energy. You're going to see things change. All right, sweetheart? And there's no advice I could give you on the crystal thing, because I could tell you till I'm blue in the face and you're still going to do what you do. So it's in one ear out the other. But anyway, thank you so much, sweetheart. Have a good one. I'll be on later, guys. Bye. Love and light. Bye, George. Say hi to... oh my gosh, Jenny. No, what I forgot her name. She's the Taurus. The Taurus. I know her as the Taurus. Say hi to her, sweetheart. Okay. Yes, Jess. Yes, yes. Yes to Jess. Yes. Say hi to her, sweetheart. Wish her good things for me. All right, honey. Bye. All right, guys. I'll be on later.